Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. For those who are back for Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong number 2, who watched number 1, if you haven't, go back and watch my review on number 1. But my name is Cedric. You can call me Ceddy Said, and this is Reviews from the 6. Here I give reviews on my hobbies. So, for example, reading comics, working out, playing video games, collecting fragrances, combat sports. If that sounds like something you're into, pop a squat and listen up. Let's get right into it. So like I said, already reviewed Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. What I do is I tell you how I enjoyed the story, the writing, the art, the setting, the characters that interested me, some of the events that were cool. However, I will not spoil it for you, because I still want you to go out there and purchase the comic book. And I don't want to be that channel where you come to and you said, you know what, Cedric's going to give me all the answers. And then all of a sudden you get into your online MCEU debates and DCU debates or whatever it may be, and you look totally goofy. I don't want you to do that. I want you to go ahead and pick it up, judge it for yourself, read it for yourself. But let's get right into the art. As you can see here, the cover is Superman inside the mouth of Godzilla. Now, I should have looked up what the blast was called that comes out of his mouth, out of Godzilla's mouth. I don't know what that's called. However, there's going to be an interesting aspect of that when we get into the story. So you got the cover art. The back art is just a promotion for the Aquaman movie, which I haven't seen yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I think I'm just going to go ahead and wait till it comes out to the app. Yeah, the theater experience isn't for me anymore, really. But again, y'all, this is just gorgeous art. Like, I absolutely love it. Look at that. Love it, man. So, of course, if you missed number 1, I'll give you a quick little recap of that. And number 1, what happens is that Kong and Godzilla gets introduced to, can I say, the real world or the DC world, as far as Metropolis and Gotham City and Liberty City, all that good stuff. They get introduced to it. I shouldn't say introduced, but they get brought into this reality. They're no longer on Kong or Scroll Island, I believe it is. Not Kong Island, Scroll Island, I believe. Or is it Kong Island? One of the two. I know there's a couple animated series that I've seen and then a couple things that I've read too that have those things included, but it's something around that nature. But long story short, now we have Godzilla, all right, in the presence of the Justice League. So if you remember on number 1, where they only had a few members of the Justice League, they were back at the base. Superman is getting married to Lois, so they're kind of sitting back, coming up with a game plan on what they should do when Superman is no longer around, how they're going to save the world and everything. But there were only Flash, Hal, Wonder Woman, and Kara. However, because Godzilla showed up in Metropolis, they called in the Auxiliary Leaguers, is what they called them. And I thought that was a cool name for them, the Auxiliary Leaguers. So then they called in a couple of those, a couple backups, some other superheroes as well. So as they're doing that, they cut over to Gotham City. And I thought that was the cool part of issue number 2. It's just showing a kaiju in Gotham City and how, you know, Batman, Red Hood, Nightwing, Batgirl, how they all are gonna take care of this threat without having any superpowers. And the way that they did it was absolutely amazing. Now, of course, it wasn't the likes of a Godzilla or Kong, but still it was a kaiju. And what I liked about that compare and contrast is that the kaiju that they were fighting was like this big huge bat that had this sonic ability, and that was just super dope because of course Batman, the Bat family, they're fighting a gigantic bat kaiju. Like, that was awesome. Like, how do you beat that? Like, all you guys, like, they aren't Voltron or Power Rangers, so it's not like they can just team up together and become a bigger Batman. So just them showing the teamwork that they had, the different personalities, and just how Batman is the ultimate tactician, man. He's the elite strategist. Like, bottom line to it. some of the things that they had to do in order to beat the kaiju was absolutely genius. There was things in there where, like, as I'm reading it, I really didn't think much of it. I'm just like, okay, why are they doing that? And then Batman would say something, and I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Go ahead and do that. Take care of that now. But long story short, a kaiju ends up in Gotham. Bat family gets together to take care of it. We all know Jason is a hothead, right? He has his guns. He's a markman. He's just sitting back like, yo, I can take care of this issue, man. I got this, yo. Like, let me do my thing. Batman's like, we got to be smarter than that. Come on now. We got to be smarter than that. However, Jason wasn't smart. So he does something that puts the entire Gotham City in jeopardy. And the Bat family had to break off from fighting the giant kaiju in order to save the civilians and put like an evacuation plan in play. And I thought that was really cool, just showing how they evacuate the city. There haven't been a lot of comics that I read where, you know, a monster is destroying the city and the other superheroes are trying to get everybody out. I mean, yeah, you do see that in the Spider-Man comics and stuff like that, but just the way they did it in here was pretty cool while there's a big kaiju going on. They kind of show where Nightwing, you know, he's next up. They kind of show where he's next up in here, and I kind of like that writing. It was like a brief little segment, but it kind of shows where they're like, all right, this is going to be the next dude. Also, Jason got put in line by Batgirl, man. Like, that was just super awesome. So yeah, the kaiju being in Gotham and the Bat family coming together to take care of the threat and evacuate the city was pretty cool to me. They do throw in Cyborg in here as well, who wasn't in the previous one. It was pretty cool seeing him. Hawkgirl made an appearance as well. You had Green Arrow make an appearance. Now, Green Arrow is in Metropolis. However, they do have a surprise entrant with Shazam. That was pretty cool. So now let's get off of Gotham City. Let's go into Metropolis, right? So now you have actual Godzilla in Metropolis, and of course it's Superman versus Godzilla. The real cool part is that the writing for Superman was almost like, it felt like it was me. Like if I was coming face to face with a big old giant lizard who had this type of ability, like, bro, what you looking at? Oh, you want some of me? Hey man, I don't know if you could talk or not, but you need to get up out of here. If you ain't gonna get up out of here, then I'm just gonna go ahead and deal with you. And that's exactly what happened. That's what Superman told him, and they got busy. But as they're getting busy, they kind of see that Godzilla is like a formidable opponent, right? So that's where I said the compare and contrast of Superman's laser beams compared to Godzilla's, I should have looked it up and seen what it was called, y'all. But, you know, versus his beam. So the two match, and they were kind of equal, but one of them gets the upper hand in it, right? And as one of them gets the other hand, we get a surprise from Shazam. Shazam shows up, right? And they're kind of telling Shazam like to chill out. Now, before Shazam shows up, they have Hawkgirl and Superman going to town on Godzilla. However, Hawkgirl didn't have like any effect on Godzilla, like nothing. She hit him with her best, and nothing happened. So it was ultimately one-on-one until Shazam showed up, and he really didn't even need the help. He just was there. And as he's there, like, he thinks it's cool. Oh, it's a big lizard. It's a dinosaur. We get to fight a dinosaur. He jumps on top of Godzilla. Something happens to where Superman had to put himself on the line in order to save Shazam. And I thought that was really cool. And then that's where we leave off at right then and there. But I thought the writing was excellent. Like, just the compare and contrast with the laser beams of Godzilla and Superman. Also, too, about Batman or the Bat family fighting a big old bat kaiju. Like, I thought that was super cool too, man. But yeah, the writing was good. The art is good. This is something I'm going to continue to read. Down in the comments below, let me know. Are you reading number 2? Did you like number 2 compared to 1? Is number 2 something that's going to keep you invested into reading number 3? How far are you going to go with this? Also, too, what did you think about Gotham City and Metropolis? Like, do you think it was too soon for Godzilla? Do you think they're kind of holding back on Kong a little bit? Like, what are they going to do with Kong? Or is Kong going to go to Gotham City? Because Godzilla's in Metropolis? I'm just throwing stuff out there. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, hit that like button. So the algorithm can be like, you know what, there's somebody that likes this type of content. Let's share it with everyone else that likes this type of content as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because your vibe attracts your tribe. I want you to come on back. You hear me? Also hit that share button. Share this to anyone and anywhere you think this would be beneficial. With that being said, I just want to thank you for joining me today on the review for Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Peace, love, and blessings.